Hey YouTube, welcome back. Today I am doing a video about our morning basket. So we are about to start school. I'm sitting here, we start school tomorrow, and I'm trying to plan out the last little bits of how we're going to do our morning basket this year. I do not do themed baskets, although I would really like to, and I'm thinking for October I will probably make it a little more of a themed basket, but I just kind of do what works for us. This has worked for us this whole last year. We loved Morning Basket. We started it last year, and I loved having a morning basket. It was so fun to sit down and read. My girls absolutely love starting our day that way, and we were very consistent with it. We continued with it. I think we probably had a handful of days where we ended up not doing it just because we started our day so late. But I'm going to go ahead and show you what is in our morning basket to start our school year off. This is the basket. My basket is getting a little tattered and torn because this is the same basket I used last year, but it's still holding up very well, so I don't need to replace it. But these are the books that we're going to start our school year off. A lot of our books we do on a loop schedule, so not all of them are read every single day. So I'm just going to go ahead and jump in. I have my little planner thing that I got from, what is it, the Waldock Way. I found this little printable for a morning basket, so I printed it out. Wrote down all the stuff that we're going to start with. So I'm going to go ahead and start. We will always start our morning with Bible. We have two very good Bible books. So we will start our day with either Indescribable. This is 100 Devotions About God and Science. So we will either do this one or we will do Theology. I love both of these books, so we'll just kind of go back and forth between these. So tomorrow we'll probably start with this one because we haven't read this one. We are almost done with this one. We used this one last year, but once this one's done we will just stick with this one, but I kind of want to continue with both of them, so we will alternate between the two of these for Bible. Those are more geared for my oldest. I know my youngest will probably enjoy this one as well, but for my youngest I do have some books that we will incorporate for her as well, and these will be on a loop as well. So these two, I have Tales of, what is it? The Beginner's Bible, Tales of Virtue, just short little stories with some virtue lessons. And then, oh, not this book. I grabbed the wrong book. And then we will have The Story for Little Ones. So I don't know how much of this I will read for each lesson. I think the stories, they're actually pretty quick. Yeah, so I will most likely read one chapter a day because they're just, this is chapter 3, so it has just a little bit, and then a question, and that's it. So this is going to be perfect. So this and this will be on a loop schedule, and so we will read one of these and then read one of these every single day. And then, so those are for Bible. The next subject I have is just kind of a mix of manners, poetry, and art. So these three will be on a loop every single day. So we will either read Manners Made Easy. These are super, it's, 365 timeless etiquette tips for every occasion. Each day is just one page. Super simple, and it has a little activity or kind of an enrichment thing to work on for manners. So we will either read this book, we will read this one. I've had this one in past videos before. I really love this book. So we will read this one for poetry. I think that this one won't last very long because it does go by seasons and there's only a few poems per season. So once we're done reading what we need to for the season of this one, we will just stick with the other two books that I have, which I will show you. So there's that one, and then I have Can You Hear It? So the Metropolitan Museum of Art, Can You Hear It? So we will do, when the day comes for this, we will do one of these. Oh, there it is. There is a CD that has music on it, and you're supposed to listen to the music and then, or to the soundtrack, whatever it is, and then look at the art and discuss it. There's some questions in here like, can you hear the passing cars honking as they rush through crowded city streets? So you listen to the music and kind of goes along with the art piece, and you're supposed to listen to it and look at the art piece and really dive deep into it. I'm not explaining that very well, but I love the idea of this. I'm excited to try this out. We will probably start with this one tomorrow because, again, I'm very excited to try this, and I think it will be a nice start to the day, to our first day of school. So we will, after Bible, we will pick one of these books, and these will be on a loop and we will read those. We will have memory work. My girls will be starting a small group in September. They'll go to a local church. My oldest has done this for the past 3 years. This will be her 4th year doing it, where they go to a local church and they have a small group for a bunch of the kids there at the church. And so they go and they talk about a Bible lesson. She'll have a book that she will have to work on. She'll have a memory verse to work on each week. And they sing songs and have a snack and just have some fun with other kids from the church. And so we have really enjoyed that program for the past 3 years. And my youngest, my Clara, she will get to join this year. So she's super excited about doing small group with Kylie they're not going to be together, they'll be in separate classes, but she's very excited to be going this year. So they will have memory verses. I know my oldest will, I'm sure the youngest will as well. We won't just work on those memory verses, we will have our own memory verses. So we have worked on Psalm 23. We memorized this last year and we took a break. We went back to it here and there, but I think that it's not stuck yet. So we will go over this again. So this is something that both the girls will memorize. I think that my youngest can work on this maybe at a slower pace, but she can memorize this too. And then we will work on the Pledge of Allegiance again. I just really want my girls to know it. They're not in school, they don't say it every day, but it is something that I feel like they should know, or at least be very familiar with. So I have these two. I just printed these off of online and laminated them, and so we have those to memorize. So that's memory work. Our read aloud, which we will read every day until it's done, is Thimble Summer. Just a fun read. It's just a recommendation I came across that would be great for a preschooler and a 4th grader. So we will read this. And my mom actually recommended this book. She said she read these Elizabeth Enright books when she was little and loved them. So we're going to try that one out. And then for history, we will be reading The Courage of Sarah Noble. This is part of our history curriculum, so I just put it into our morning basket. So we will be reading that. And then just 2 other items to have on a loop, or just probably not every day, probably once a week. We will just pick one. If you were a noun and if you were an adjective. So these books are super cute. And just, if you never heard of them, it says, if you were an adjective, you would tell us how a person, place, or thing looks. And then the slender swimmer snaps a photo of the enormous whale in the deep blue water. So each of the adjectives are bigger. You can see they're bigger and all capitalized, so that way they pop out. My oldest knows adjectives and nouns very well, so I don't think we'll be reading these that long. I just thought it would be fun to throw in here as a refresher for her. I also have if you were a verb, if you were an adverb, if you were a pronoun. There's tons of them. Those are just the few that I have. I'd love to get more, but I'll probably just check them out from the library. And then the last thing for geography is we are going to continue with our state and capital flashcards. We did all of these last year. There's still a few in here that we never got around to. We took it very slow. My daughter knows most of them. I'm afraid she might have forgotten some of them over the summer, so we will have to refresh a little bit. Every day, it looks like we have about 5 books that we will be reading. Short stories or a little poem here or there, so it's not going to be too bad. So they'll have one devotion, a little Bible story. There's 2 chapter books that we will be reading, but those should go super quick. And actually, we will not be reading this every day. We'll only be reading this twice a week. They'll have a poem or a manners lesson or an art lesson, and then just the memory verse, and then the adjectives or nouns. This looks about to be the same amount of things that we did last year in our morning basket, so I know it's doable. So I think that is going to be a good start for us. I'm super excited to get into this tomorrow for our first day of school. So that is all I have for this video today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you liked this video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. So my memory card filled up. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. I think I already said that. And please subscribe if you'd like to see future videos. I'd greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching today, and I will see you next time. Bye.